Okay.
Professional.
Yes, be professional.
Be professional.
All right, we're good, Ann. I can send that to you. So.
Be the ball, Danny.
Okay, so you can unmute yourself, but I would appreciate if you muted yourself now. So. All right, here we go. So, thanks again, everybody, for coming. My name is Ryan Harbinson. I'm with Clearbridge Branding Agency, and today we're going to really discuss some techniques and strategies on reconnecting, maintaining, and growing your network. Okay. We over here at Clearbridge are a group of industry vets that have really come together to start something special. So the average experience for our team is about 22 years. Our VP of Digital is an expert writer for Forbes. Our VP of Operations has worked with Fortune 100 companies, and our creative director has been in the business so long he actually was involved in the Folgers jingle. So we're kind of a one-stop shop. So branding, creative, social, SEO, marketing as a full. So web design, TV, radio, video, and really finding out what audiences make sense for you to get in front of and how we can utilize those people to tell your message. All right. A big thing that I've always kind of gone through, and I talked a little bit about this in my LinkedIn stuff, but it gets to a point where you have so many connections and you have such a network that it's kind of like, what do I do with all these people? So that's really what we're going to really dive into here. So let's jump right in. Okay. So growing, right? So, at this point right now, everyone is at their desk. All right. Internet traffic right now is through the roof, and so are response times, right? And it's funny because app usage is actually down, which is crazy to think because people aren't using their phones nearly as much. So, Facebook is up from 125 to 165. Netflix is up from 19 to 24 million, and YouTube is up from 165 to 190. So people are here. They're sitting in front of their computers, and they're easily accessible. I mean, I've had a lot of success over the last couple weeks with just being able to get in front of a bunch of people that I wasn't able to get in front of before. And email times are just crazy. Just emailing people, I mean, they're responding way faster than normal because I think there's a weird mentality now that people have empty inboxes, which it's always, for me, it's always an issue to have an empty inbox. But because there's less emails, because people are able to get on them so fast, people are there. And, if an opportunity arises, they really want to be able to fill up their day and actually have production out of their day. So people are looking for things to do, and they're looking to speak with people, and there's no better time to reach out to people than right now. So. All right. So a technique I like to use is, utilizing your emails, right? So going back in your emails from a year ago, a lot changes in a year, and the production and productivity that you might have been focusing on a year ago is way different than what you're doing right now. So there's always opportunities that you've kind of maybe missed on, right? This is a great way to find if, you send some quotes out there that maybe never kind of came to, or, we've been there a couple times where we say, hey, here's the quote, and then we send a couple emails, and then, we don't hear anything back. So this is a great time to kind of re-explore those options. Meetings that just never happen. So I've always had opportunities that just kind of fall apart and, let's cancel, reschedule. It's a great idea to stay back on there. Just reaching out to people and just getting back on their radar. And, I think it's really nice to hear from people that you haven't heard from a long time. And I've seen a lot of success with that, just reaching back out and just being like, hey, man, what's going on? I know we were supposed to meet, or, I know I said that quote a long time ago, but it would be great to just catch up and see what's going on. Now, this might not be for everybody, but for me, I put everything in folders. So my whole inbox is very organized, and I strive to have no emails in my inbox, and I have tons and tons of folders. And what I'll do is I'll actually go through each individual folder and just look through and see what's going on. And, I tend to make little lists of opportunities to reach back out to people. And, when you're going through your folders, it helps you remember just what's been going on. And there's a lot of opportunities to reconnect with some people that you might have just totally forgotten about. So I tend to make folders with everything, even if it's like an introduction that someone makes. So someone will be like, hey, meet Ryan, meet Bill. And maybe I'm like, hey, what's going on? And then either no response or it just doesn't happen. I make an individual folder for that person's new company and put it in there. So at least I know that that person is now on the radar. So from whoever it was sent from is fine, but I'll put it in their own personal folder because of, go back 6 months and see if there's still opportunity to, catch up with those people. So this is a technique that I've really had a lot of success with over the last 2 weeks. So this is another growing opportunity, right? So I've been creating these micro groups. So what I've noticed is, the first 4 weeks was great to adapt, right? Hey, reach out to all your customers, reach out to all your power partners, reach out to people and just get on everybody's radar. But eventually that pipeline kind of dries up. And for me, I'm doing, 15 to 20 events a week. And then all of a sudden I go to no events a week. And one of the main reasons, and there's a lot of people out there in the same boat, the main reason we go to these events is to meet new people. Like I'm looking to expand my, my network, look at new opportunities. A big thing is like going into a spot and if I don't know a lot of people there, tagging up with somebody that knows people and walking around and getting introduced. So I kind of lost that whole flow. I mean, we all have been there where like we have this stack of cards on our on our table, and I look at that stack of cards and that's just everyone I have to look through, and now that stack of cards is just not there anymore. So I started doing these little micro groups. So really what it is teaming up with 2 of your power partners. So 3 people together, and everybody invites 2 people into a room. Okay. You keep it short and sweet, about a half hour, 40 minutes. You do around the world, and really what you're doing is who are the industries and the clients that you're looking to get in front of. And you're just opening these doors for new opportunities to meet new people and build new relationships, really. And what's great is that after you do these little micro meetings, I like to then tag up with those people outside of that event and actually have a one-on-one. The other thing too, and I'm totally stealing this from Keisha Butler, who is great. Sending out follow-up emails for this with everybody's LinkedIn accounts. I think it's really excellent because Keisha makes a great point on the fact that we get bombarded with email addresses and we don't email, but if we can get on someone's LinkedIn, all of a sudden we can kind of see who the person is, what they're doing, and maybe run through their contacts and actually utilize that to further grow our network overall. So this has been really good. I do these Monday and Tuesday, and and I'm getting the opportunities to get in front of like 15 new people each week. So it's really starting to help, and it's really starting to just adapt and fill the void that we're kind of missing out with not being able to go to events. All right, here's a big one, right? So if you don't know the face, it's time to delete them. Okay, that's really the part of this. So, and I go into more detail on this in my LinkedIn stuff, but one of the main things that I always push is the fact that you have to know who you're connected with. All right, connecting with people that you don't know doesn't allow you to grow your network when you're connected with somebody in India or on the West Coast or in the middle of Mexico that you have no relationship or that is not really part of what you either what you're trying to do, who you're trying to get out in front of, right? So this is a great time to go through and start deleting people from your LinkedIn profile. So they do not get a notification that you deleted them, which is always great, but it also allows you to kind of maintain these relationships that you have with some people. So I do this like once every 2 months or so, and I'll just kind of scroll through, and it just opens up all these old doors to kind of reach back out to people that are in your network that maybe you haven't talked to in 6 or 7 or 8 months. I tend to either message them live right there or make just kind of a little list and then email them too. So either way, whatever you feel more comfortable with. Right now, I feel like the messaging people is really the way to go. So I use Calendly, which is a calendar app, and I can just send a quick little note that has access to my calendar, and you can just put a meeting on right there and then. So I'll just go into the message box and say, hey, Tim, what's going on, man? Haven't talked to you in quite some time. We should set up a Zoom call. Here's a link to my calendar. Looking forward to speaking with you. Boom, done. And you can send 40 of those in a day. All of a sudden, next week, you're rock and rolling. I mean, with this call right here, I think I've done 25 Zoom calls this week. So it's just been craziness. And it's just getting and staying on everybody's radar, right? You know, the other thing, too, is that Facebook, I think people underrate Facebook. And there's this weird thing going on where LinkedIn and Facebook are kind of, you know, the networks are kind of merging. So over the last 6 or 8 months, I've had a lot of, you know, people that I see at events and that I network with friending me on Facebook now too. So this is a great opportunity to go through all your Facebook contacts too. Now I have a different opinion on Facebook itself. LinkedIn, I want to be able to have those relationships and actually have those connections be meaningful. But with Facebook, I kind of don't care. I'll kind of friend anybody because I'm posting my content on Facebook, and Facebook is more of the more eyes that can see it, the better, because you never know who somebody knows in the Facebook world. The other thing too is, you know, run back and look through all your Facebook connections. There might be some people that you went to like high school and college with that are now the VP of company X, and it might be great to kind of reach back out to those. And I was booking appointments through Facebook Messenger too. So there's a lot of opportunity through Facebook and LinkedIn and going through those contact lists and seeing, you know, who might be able to help you grow together. But with LinkedIn, I always highly recommend to go through. I mean, I know about 94% of my contacts, right? Again, if you don't know the face, it might be time to get rid of them. All right, so same thing with your phone contacts, right? So when was the last time you went through your phone and actually ran through and looked at everybody that was in your phone? So I've been doing this since probably like week 2. And about week 2 and week 3, I was just calling random people that I haven't talked to in quite some time, right? So, you know, it's a great time to touch base with clients. You know, I've talked to a lot of my family, which is crazy too. And when you're going through, just start deleting stuff. I mean, like how many things do we have that looks like this, right? Keep, right? Ryan Hart from Clearbridge. And no, you can't delete this number, so don't try, all right? But we have people like in our phone, like Joe Barr, Coffee Guy, or Lisa ShopRite Pizza, right? We have tons of weird numbers of people that we meet randomly. You know, it's time to go through and just delete those people, right? And I think the other thing that's important too is once you kind of go through and you feel comfortable with everybody that's in your contacts, you know, whoever you don't delete, call those people. Again, everybody is in front of the computer. So now is a great time to really reach out to those people and touch base. Really, you'd be surprised how many people are picking up the phone. Hey, whoever's 3440, could you just mute yourself, please, on the phone? Thank you. All right, moving on. All right, again, so, you know, if you're looking to grow your network, there's no better time than now to create content, okay? And I know some people have a hard time with content, just trying to figure out, you know, what to do, or I don't know what to post, you know. So we talked about this a little bit in the LinkedIn stuff too, but, you know, any kind of networking groups, and now really what that is like the chambers doing like all their Zoom calls, just take a screenshot and post that, right? Any kind of other events that are going on, you know, fun at your house, like people want to see that culture element and what you've got going on. Like they want to pay attention to that stuff. Like it's important, right? Right now, people are reading so interesting articles or current trends, and then I can't emphasize enough how important video is, right? The more video you're doing, the better. And, you know, if you have a hard time just trying to come up with content, you know, I tell everybody all the time, just share, become a share maniac, okay? Share, 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 really. So if you're following people that are really big in your industry, or you follow people just on LinkedIn in general, like, you know, Tony Robbins or Oprah or Gary Vee, you know, they're paying people millions of dollars to create content for them. So you might as well utilize their content, share it out yourself. But with these shares, I always say, don't do what I call a blind share, right? Where you just hit share and put it out. Make sure when you share, you actually write a little something just to get it out there, and, you know, write a little headline. So when it goes out, it looks a little bit more organic. But, you know, the time to create content really is right now. You know, the other side of the coin too is that, you know, it's also a great time to really figure out and see what your your posting, schedule looks like, right? So like, what is it that you're trying to post? So get your whiteboard out, get your notebook out, and think of it more as television programming, because it's kind of the same deal. So like, okay, Mondays we're going to do fun in the office. Tuesdays we're always going to do a trend vehicle or a trend article. Wednesdays we're going to do whatever groups we did during Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. We're going to post that, right? Thursday and Friday is just share. We're going to share like 10 items. So if you make yourself kind of a schedule, it kind of helps you figure out what message you're trying to put out and where to go. And it's also great opportunities to really look into the hashtag world too, right? Getting involved in that hashtag game is really good. So looking through different hashtags and using the hashtags to find articles to then share. So content is king right now. And I always say content is king, engagement is queen. So part of those post techniques, you should be always commenting, liking, and sharing and getting involved in the conversation. Everybody's in front of their computer. People will see it, and there's no better time than right now. All right, so making and asking intros, right? So I think there's a couple different areas to really shine here, right? We all have power partners that we work together with that are always top of mind, and maybe some of those power partners don't know each other. So this is a great opportunity for power partners to be introduced to power partners. And what you're doing in this situation here really is molding these two different groups kind of together, right? Because it's very important to utilize everybody else's network together. So the more people you can bring together, the better it's going to be for everybody in the end. The other thing too is we tend to get overwhelmed with all the potential clients that we're looking for, or certain industries that we're trying to get into. So really what I've been doing and focusing on is just really telling everybody 3 industries. That's it. And really working that, and kind of it's that manifestation, it's that the board where you have the Lamborghini up there, right? The manifestation boards and stuff. It's kind of the same mentality. So it's just always constantly saying the same things to everyone that you're meeting. Oh, who are you looking trying to get in front of? Oh, X, Y, and Z. Oh, who are you trying to get in front of? Oh, X, Y, and Z. And eventually it's going to stick, and you're going to have things that are going on. And I've been doing that for about 6 or 8 weeks now too. And over a couple calls that we've done, I've actually been able to get into some of these industries that I'm trying to get in front of. The other thing too, and I know we hear it all the time, which is, hey, when you get an opportunity, look through my LinkedIn contacts. Anybody that you want to get in front of, I will happily make an introduction. It is now the time to call people out on that and take advantage of that stuff, right? So go into people's contacts, look through, and don't scroll through. So like if I'm going to run through Tim's contacts and Tim's got 2,200 people, I'm not going to just sit there and scroll through each one of Tim's contacts, right? Utilize the filter options inside LinkedIn. So when you go to those contacts, you'll see filters, and you can see here, right, it'll go all people and filters. And what you're going to want to do is you want to click, first and second connections. And then as you scroll down, it's going to be, I always just go to position. So whatever position makes sense for you. So HR, CFO, CEO, marketing, whatever it is, this is a great time to run through, and then just say, hey, here's the people that I want to know. And if their network is done right and they've gone through and they've actually deleted their contacts, most likely they're going to know those people, and it's an easy introduction to make. So utilize growing your network through taking advantage of those introductions. Okay, another great one, right? So and again, maintaining is really key right now. So using opportunities through your profile views is going to be huge right now. So the more content that you're creating, right, the more people are going to be coming to your page, because now people are seeing that you're active on LinkedIn, and there's no better time to reach out to people when they're on your page, because you're more relevant, it's warm, and right here you'll see there's an easy option to just message those people right there. So on top of going through all your opportunities with deleting people, this is the other side of the coin, which is, when you're making traffic and you're doing content, people are going to come to your page and check you out and take advantage of the opportunities to reach out to those people because they just viewed your profile. So you're still relevant. So there's no better time to set up meetings and get back in front of people that are checking out who you are and what you're doing. All right. So fully using your network, right? So the core six. So this is kind of a two-step process. So in everybody's transactions and everybody's sale techniques, there is most likely up to 6 industries that are involved in your transaction, right? So what I mean by that is if you're in the middle, there's 6 other people that can be integrated into each transaction that you have, maybe not all at the same time, but in different forms. Like for us, so if I'm going to do a sale, so like for me, a good one is like people that do promotional items. We don't do a lot of
Yeah.
pens and things like that, but sometimes we do. And when we do,
Yeah.
it's good to have those people. Another one for us is, we do video in-house, but sometimes, we need other people to do like post stuff like After Effects work and things like that, right? When I was in the print world, I would do all your print work, and I would always have like an SEO or a web person to help you. We'll handle uh, the physical aspect of your marketing, but what are you doing on your digital part? So run through, think about who's involved in your process that can be, really understand the importance of being reciprocal back and forth. Okay. Together you guys are working together and always being top of mind. The other side of the core six is really your power partner plus. Okay. So these are people that you have more than just business relationships with, right? People that are actually like your friends that have developed just because you see each other all the time, right? This is more than just first of mind. This is like, oh, hey, by the way, we're having a barbecue this week. Come on over to the house and hang out, right? So sales doesn't really even get integrated or talked about in this process. It's more about just working together and always utilizing your network to get in front of these people. And whenever you've got to make introductions for people, you're always, no matter what, going to introduce them to these 5 or 6 people just because it's good for them to know and it helps them grow their network. A lot of these people you're probably not going to do business with directly, but you're always going to be involved in somehow with their network as well. So the Power Partner Plus, I think, has really been a key factor for me and some of the people that benefit from that as well. But the industries as well are a great way to always be bringing more work in and really staying first in mind with these people.
Hey, dude, this is gold. I have a buddy waiting in the waiting room, Tim, if you just let him in. I'm sorry. I dropped in the chat. He's looking forward to getting in. Thanks, Ray.
All right, cool. Thanks, Tim. Okay, so my mantras, right? And some people hear me say this stuff all the time, but I wanted to write it down. So, right, first is for every 12 gives, I get an ask, right? So I don't really ask very much because I'm always just trying to continue to connect people and keep people together. So I really push the fact that, the more you give, the easier it is to ask, right? Everywhere, all the time, always, right? So always just trying to be everywhere. First to mind, live in the feed. Liars never win, right? We can see that, and I say it all the time. Like, if you want to, you can lie and bullshit the whole time if you want, and you'll do good for 5 months, 6 months or so. But eventually, what's going to happen is that everyone's going to figure out that you're full of shit, and they're not going to do work with you, right? Be honest, and it's okay if you don't know. Like, it's better to just own that and really let people know what's going on. This is a big one too, and I know we get bombarded and really get overwhelmed with the days, but following up on your promises. So saying that you're going to introduce people to people, or giving them a quote, or whatever the situation is, looking in for maybe a possible venue for something that you're like a committee that you're involved with, following up on your promises goes a really long way. And this is really the big one for me is don't talk shit on people. I know it's like, sounds like a dumb moment, but this is the worst thing that can get you in trouble is gossiping about people. And really, I don't really have any ill feelings towards anybody, but if you ever get caught, and this is actually a great lesson that my pop taught me when I was young. If you ever get caught up in those situations where they're like, oh yeah, this guy, and you're like, oh well, I like him. He's a nice person. Yeah, well, he's just always that. Like, yeah, well, I like him. He's a nice person. And after you say it like 3 or 4 times, they kind of get the hint that you're not out here to talk shit on people, and they just kind of go away. So, we're all well connected, and everything goes out. And if you're one of those people that's always just gossiping about it, it's just going to hurt you in the end. And this is a nice, quick, and dirty one. So That's all I got for everybody. So just some great tips and tricks and things that I've really been utilizing over the last couple months, and I hope that really helps everybody out. So if anybody's got any feedback or questions, you can unmute yourself. So happy to take those.
That was so
Hey,
great. Thank
Ryan,
you so much.
on that last part where you were talking about the gossiping, it's a very, very difficult thing to do, especially if you have a situation where you're really annoyed with a person or a company or something that just tore your day up, tore your week up.